Hello, and welcome to the 10-Minute Walk Learning Series. You'll hear from park professionals about their tools and tips for ensuring that everyone has a great park within a 10-minute walk of home. Today, we're looking at community partnerships and coalition building. As you'll hear from the Pittsburgh Parks Conservancy, partnerships in park access and quality initiatives can help engage local people in your projects, build trust with the community, and overcome project obstacles.
Any project that we work on, our goal is to create a really excellent end result, a place that brings people together, that gives them a chance to recreate themselves, to heal social relationships, to build community, to have fun, to play. And that's a lot to roll into one project. I think that it's the key to finding a balance between all of the desires that people bring to any particular place is, number one, to really take the time to listen. Something that we sometimes call slow engagement, meaning that a project timeline needs to really start long before the project, in building those relationships with the community, listening to their stories, understanding the native wisdom in those communities about how people use places and what their family heritage may be, or what their newfound desires are as newcomers to the community. There are so many different perspectives. And so that careful listening and gathering through many different forms, through surveys, through kiosks, through workshops, through oral histories, through open calls, just to be really creative and open-armed about how that information is gathered, and then to be very clear as you work together as a team with your professional consultants, with your steering committee, with your focus groups or advisors, however you structure a project, to be clear about the values that are emerging and to use those as a touchstone as the project design is developed over time. Every now and then a project comes along that is really hard, that is like the little engine that could. You know, you're going up the hill with a project, things are on track, and suddenly a sewer line breaks below the park and your construction project has to be put on hold for 6 months. Or you're getting ready to do the geotechnical work for a new project, and suddenly neighbors start to be worried about the stability of the slopes in their homes, and you stop and take a pause and work with them about finding the right place for this improvement. Sometimes it means saying, okay, we were perhaps on the wrong track, let's recalibrate, let's shift. Maybe we shift to a nearby location. Maybe we reallocate what the elements of the project are. But it's that keeping your ears and your eyes open to those kinds of emerging challenges and being willing to roll with the punches, to take the time to work through a solution with people, to communicate with them and with your funders about what these delays are.
We took water off the street and put it into a meadow in the park. We had funding from agencies. There was a design flaw that was found because we have partners at the university that are investigating it, and so because we found it within a year of the install, that entity, the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority, could have their operations folks manufacture a fix, put it in the ground, and now we see the numbers increasing because there is a fix and there's been added, the water volume has increased as a result of that fix, which is what the agencies need for their bottom line of holding back stormwater.
So I think one of the things that we do as an organization, even though we're a park-focused organization, is to realize that parks are an integral part of an entire community and all of the different elements that make up that community. So For example, with our Pittsburgh Park Prescription Project, we have built partnerships with community health organizations, with huge health systems, our Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh, for example. And then through those partnerships, we've actually leveraged additional opportunities to connect with schools and community groups that we may never have been able to build a relationship with, based around the fact that they were enrolled in a program to create more healthy school environments. Now they've been exposed to how parks fit into that. So in building our relationship with Children's Hospital, we took a step back and really tried to understand what the community health needs were, and they had done a huge assessment and had created a community strategic health plan. And when we realized that parks and outdoor activity would fit into some of their goals, we were really able to boost the relationship and begin to work together.
So Panther Hollow is this place within Schenley Park that has a lot of different elements that are part of it. And so it has elements of, pipes under the ground. It has elements of institutions that are very close to it, that have young people that want to be engaged and educated and to give back to us. It also has communities that love that space really deeply and movingly. And so to know essentially the watershed, which is that area of land that captures all of those people in and around Panther Hollow, I knew who those institutions were, and I started to make good connections with people that worked there, and we were able to do all the work that came after that because of the thought of where we were working, who loves that space, and who has to bring money to that space, whether it be for improved city facilities or because of some kind of mandate that's related to regulations. We are lucky as Parks Conservancy employees because we have magical places to bring people to and connect with them about the thing that they love, whether it be running water or a basketball court. And so to invite people to come to a space that they deeply love, that you deeply love, there's magic in speaking with them about that place, and just being in that place, and being in that place over the long term, so they can see the projects, reflect on them, give you more feedback, or just tell you the history of what they love of being there. The foreman of that park grew up very close to there, and he has, people have ideas about how it was and how it should be in the future. I think the sheer fact that we did have an example project where we worked with money from the EPA and all these different entities to put something in the ground and then advocate for the research that was needed to see if it was actually functioning really well, and then giving them that answer, whatever it was, they valued, the start to finish of that project and the assessment of it. And so I think they're willing to work again through that process because it's been started and ended and has the monitoring that's needed. I think that one challenge is exactly what I just mentioned, is that people have they have an idea of how that place was or how it should be, and everybody has their own idea. And so to come to some happy conclusion, I don't know, to come to some sort of understanding of what's the best for everyone while not losing what is desperately needed is a really tough goal. It's also difficult to work with municipal partners in something like gray infrastructure, which is a thing that they think about all the time, and it's a pipe under the ground. And it's just one thing, whereas when you think about a park, it's got all the different elements that are needed, and it doesn't always match with the square peg in a round hole, square peg in a round pipe. So you have to figure out how to be nimble and see what they want and see what you want, and come to the conclusion that is the solution for all.